This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we're discussing Love on the Amazon, which originally premiered on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, January 17th, and is currently available to stream on Hallmark Plus. Keep up with us and what's going on with our schedule over on Instagram, where we are Girls Gone Hallmark.
Hey, if you'd like more from us, Megan and Wendy, we invite you to come join us on Patreon. We are at patreon.com/Megan and Wendy, where we drop 4 new episodes per month, where we just chit-chatting. There's a format over there, but it's a lot looser than what you get over here on our Hallmark Review podcast. But we would love to have you there. Patreon.com/Megan and Wendy.
That's right. Let's hear a synopsis of Love on the Amazon.
Claire travels to Brazil and hires Danny, a riverboat captain, to help her deliver an important message to her sister Amelia, a marine biologist studying pink dolphins on the Amazon River.
Colin Theys directed Love on the Amazon, and if you're thinking, this guy knows the destination movie, you are right. His resume includes a Machu Picchu proposal, polar opposites, a Costa Rican wedding, and a Greek recipe for romance, pattern very much established.
The screenplay comes from Juliana Wimbles, who longtime Hallmark viewers will recognize as Lisa from the Hannah Swenson Mysteries. Writing-wise, this marks her 9th credit, with previous projects including a Machu Picchu proposal, This Time Each Year, and Love in the Maldives.
JC Elliott stars as Claire, while she has just 8 acting credits, including Hallmark titles like My Southern Family Christmas and Joya Noel. She is best known for her role as Dr. Taryn Helm on Grey's Anatomy, where she's appeared in nearly 100 episodes. Man, I did not make that connection.
Wait, do you watch that show still?
No, but I know exactly who she is, and I have seen the seasons in which she is in.
And or clips on TikTok?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Rafael de la Fuente plays Danny. He has 15 acting credits and previously appeared on Hallmark in Letters to Santa in 2023. Outside of Hallmark, he has had a long run as Sam Jones on Dynasty, as well as appearing on Fire Country.
Persephone Barda Redmond plays Sister Amelia. This is her one and only acting credit.
I was like, when I was putting these notes together, I was like, is she a friend of somebody? Like, how do you have one and nothing else?
She's been busy in the Amazon.
Maybe she's a real person.
Maybe.
Raisa Xavier plays Millie. This is her 13th acting credit, and she did appear in last year's Polar Opposites.
We're going to take a quick break and come right back with our first impressions. Hey, Wendy, what was your first impression of Love on the Amazon?
Okay, go with me here. Okay. Hi, folks. Welcome aboard. Please keep your arms and legs inside the boat at all times. We are now entering the most dangerous part of the Amazon. Don't worry. This script says we'll be just fine.
Now,
is it giving Jungle Cruise?
I was going to say, for those of you who are not Southern California natives, look, I love the Jungle Cruise, and I also feel so bad for the people that work on the Jungle Cruise.
Because they just have to, read that script of puns the entire time.
Do you think they like living in dad joke land their entire workday?
I think there is a person perfect for that job.
You're right.
The kid who was like the theater kid at school who just, they're playing a part. Yeah. I think they don't cringe about it.
The backside of water. Look, I like it. It works for me. Much less creative over here. My first impression is, wouldn't an email and a DocuSign have solved all of this?
That is something I had not thought of. I do have some thoughts about, this woman is out in the Amazon. She needs to be, contacted. There has to be some sort of communication available.
Claire had a satellite device. Amelia couldn't have had one. Of course she does. Of course she does. She needs to for emergencies. Come on.
I know. But yes, you're right. A DocuSign would have easily taken care of this.
Let's talk what we liked.
Okay, if I can start.
Yeah.
Rafael de la Fuente as Danny.
Welcome to Hallmark.
Welcome. Easily a standout for me. I thought he was charming, warm, easy to watch, very believable as a riverboat captain, I thought, even though I don't know anything about riverboats or boat captains, but it felt natural to me, like he knew what he was doing. And also, if I may add, and I do think this matters, I truly believe Hallmark needs more Latino leading men. And he would be a great addition. I would happily watch him in a movie again.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. In several pieces of my notes here today, I'm going to take a little help from our friends because I was reading our Facebook group comments and several people said exactly what I was thinking. In one of those moments, I would like to read a comment from Michelle who says, "This was not typical Hallmark, but I enjoyed this storyline. However, I may be biased because I'm all about conservation, and this movie put a focus on research and conservation with the romance a subplot." I agree with that. I think the romance was a subplot in this movie. I think what this movie does differently is they are trying to shine a tiny little light on life in the Amazon and environmentalism and conservation. There's a little like peek at the schools. And I appreciate those bits and pieces that we're getting in the same vein that I feel like last week's Australia movie shined a light on Melbourne. Did you know I have the most exciting news for you?
What?
Wait, you don't know. For the listeners, I've been sick. My brain is not fully here, but I had big plans to surprise you with this at the top of this episode. And then they didn't pan out. But hold on. We got a message.
About Melbourne?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. Oh, I'm scared too. Who's it from?
It's from
Shannon?
Yeah.
Hi, ladies. I thought I'd send you a quick note about a Melbourne match. I'm from New South Wales, where Sydney is, and we say Melbourne. And I double checked with a friend who lives in Victoria, which is where Melbourne is, and she also says Melbourne. So for Aussies, I guess the general consensus is Melbourne, not Melbourne or Melbourne. And as for holding the koala, in certain states, it's illegal for conservation laws. I know in New South Wales, where my sister used to work at a zoo, you aren't allowed to hold them there, but you can pat them or have a photo taken with them. We went on our honeymoon in Queensland, which is up north, and I am going to attach a photo. My husband actually held a koala. I made him do it because I was too scared it was going to pee on me. But you are allowed to in certain states, but some you're not. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.
I love it.
That's so exciting.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Shannon. I feel like vindicated.
Right?
Nobody told me that's not how it's pronounced, but you know, I'm just feel happy to be right. That's all.
Well, also I was like, she really is Australian.
Oh my God, she has an accent. Yeah.
Anyway, look, I think I liked this peek into the Amazon. I don't know anything about life on the Amazon. My point was, I think that's what some of these movies have done for us. A tiny Hallmarkified peek into life on the Amazon with potentially CGI jaguars walking down the banks.
Yeah.
Or like a B-roll jaguar.
Maybe.
I was like, oh, look at that. There he is.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think the setting here does a lot of heavy lifting because it's somewhere we've never been. And it is kind of like cool to be like, oh, look at that. I know that sounds like the more you know, but I just thought like the movie did benefit from its location. It was filmed on location in Iquitos, Peru, according to IMDb. It's not the Brazil Amazon, but it's still the Amazon, right? So it's kind of cool to like get a peek into that. I agree. And I did think like the river shots were like genuinely interesting to look at. I think it was cool that they were on an actual river.
Yes.
You know, not green screen. We've been talking about green, you know, like boats on water the last couple of months. So I appreciated that those shots were actually genuine.
Yeah, I mean, it's mildly eye-opening. It's like, oh, look at that. This is interesting. I know nothing about life on the Amazon, about the Amazon River. It did have a mild Jungle Cruise vibe to it in that moment when the piranhas just like pop. But it kind of was like, yes, there are piranhas in the Amazon River. Yes, there are howler monkeys living in the Amazon. It was just notice these things, be aware of them, open your eyes beyond travel in your typical bubbles.
Fair. Now, let me ask you about this. This was an acquisition, right? For me, I did think the story was better than I expected going into it. I had super low expectations, honestly.
Yeah.
But with that said, the plot wasn't groundbreaking, but I did think it was watchable. So that alone earns a like from me.
Yeah. If I may steal another little help from a friend of ours, Mailman Steve, he speaks to that. And he says, if this movie was aired in 2014 to 2017 era, it would have been well received. Airing in 2026, it is still very watchable. Your word as well. But over the last several years, Hallmark has raised the bar for movies of the week. I found myself constantly looking at the clock to see how much was left. J.C. Elliott did as much as she could, but the rest of the production seemed to drag the movie down. A good film, not a great film. And I think that really captures my thoughts about this. It was better than I expected it to be. It didn't meet the level that had been established with the first two January movies for me. But I did also find it watchable.
Yeah, I personally think this is a sandwich movie. We got like two really good movies and we have this middle here. And then I think we're going to get two pretty good movies to end January as well.
Yeah, this movie costs less for them to acquire than they will make in advertising revenue while airing it. Hopefully.
Yeah, they're like, man, January's got 5 Saturdays. We need to fill it with something.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of J.C. Elliott, I did enjoy Claire's connection with the kids, showing them the books and like speaking English with them, and her also having like a mutual exchange, learning the language there as well. I thought those were meaningful moments. It showed this character of Claire outside of this rigid, structured life she had back home.
I agree with that. And I liked that we finally got to a place within the boat crew of we're all in this together, High School Musical vibe. I didn't love the path we took to get there, like the manufactured drama prior to that. But I did like that we get to the point where they are working together to help each other out towards their own goals.
Yeah. Are you ready to move on to wishes?
Sure.
Sadly, my wish list is longer than my likes list.
Okie dokie.
I wanted a different romantic pairing here.
Okay.
As I'm watching this movie, I truly thought the story was headed towards Danny having past or unresolved feelings with Claire's sister.
Yes.
Because it seemed like he spoke highly of her. There was obviously history. We didn't quite, at this point where I'm like, oh, is that
Yeah.
that's what's happening? Like, we didn't know, like, he like bounced out on their research project. He had a family obligation. I think he didn't go about it the right way. But my point is, I kind of thought, oh, I would like that better. I like that idea better, that Danny and the sister had some sort of reconnection, and then Claire meets somebody along the way. Because between Danny and Claire, I did not see it. There was zero chemistry between these two.
I agree. And I like the idea that if it were Danny and Amelia, that gives it time to build. It's not 3 days on the Amazon where these people are forming a relationship. It's over time and working together and forming a relationship. And it feels more believable than 3 days on a sweaty, buggy, humid boat where you don't even have a place to sleep or
eat,
sit down.
No.
For me, as a person who doesn't like discomfort, look, I'm never going to go camping. It's not for me. And this is a me thing, but I have a hard time finding the romance and the sexiness in a uncomfortable environment. I mean, I think they would admit life on the Amazon is not easy. This was not luxury travel. It was hot and humid and buggy. There was likely no running water on this boat, so there certainly weren't showering regularly. I mean, maybe there was some sort of toilet situation. I don't know.
Oh, these are details I had not thought of.
But I'm not going to feel romantic when I feel sticky
Yeah, I hear you.
and I'm swatting away the mosquitoes. It doesn't bring it for me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Well, your point is valid because as a viewer, the movie makers, I'm going to trademark that. The movie makers need to create an environment for the viewers to feel those feelings while watching, right? And if you're getting that's hot and sticky and buggy and I'm not into it, they haven't done their job to sell us on the romance of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I wish for more character development for Claire in the sense that she's clearly bright and capable. She's successful. She's got a good job. She can organize like the Dickens. But we're led to believe that she's this major disappointment to her family because why? She bought flowers for her sister and somehow that landed her in traffic and made her late to the graduation. I didn't fully understand. She felt like she had this big thing to prove to her sister and it wasn't fully clear that was who she was. She's a person who reads a lot and somehow that makes her not dependable.
I know. But she's a vice principal at a school. Like, I mean,
That's not an easy job.
that job takes brains and management and all kinds of know-how. So, yeah, you're right. They did paint her as sort of this kind of incapable, which was like a huge pet peeve of mine in last week's movie.
Yes.
When our lead was like, I can't, how do I get out of the airport? You know, it's the same sort of thing. I'm helpless. But they did paint Claire as kind of like, oh, she's smart, but she's also not like street savvy or I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly, but you're right. You're right. I did think it was a little bit unrealistic that she goes on this adventure. I don't think she intended it to be an adventure to find her sister to get these documents signed, but it turns into a low-key adventure that feels like exciting to her. So therefore she's like, I'm going to walk away from my stable job and the life I've created for myself at home to live on the Amazon.
Yeah, they need teachers out here. Oh, and there's just an abundance of teaching jobs available to her to support herself with. Come on.
Yeah, that does not feel realistic at all.
And like Danny lives this very transient life. Like he's constantly on the move. So how is that going? You know, Danny delivers. Like he's got to be delivering. So how is that going to further your relationship?
Well, to me, it read as like she was going to do that with him, but then how is she going to teach kids too? So I don't know.
Yeah, she's going to be a drop-in teacher. Let me read you a story while he unloads the boxes and then bye.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And if I may, I touched lightly on adventure in my last wish, but this movie to me, like, there was no danger. Like, make it exciting for me as a viewer. Like, okay, they have some rapids, fine. And I could not help but think, like, this is the Drake's Passage of the Amazon here, you know?
Yeah. I did kind of like that scene where she's like rocking and rolling. Like, she sold me.
Oh my God. I would be like, throw me over this thing and put an end to my life because
Toss me to the piranhas.
I could not. I get so motion sick. There's no way.
But they only do it once. But also, can that boat handle if it's that many rapids? I'm like, that boat's going to capsize on a rock.
Yeah, I don't know. But like every obstacle just felt like inconvenience instead of dangerous threat.
It did feel like the Jungle Cruise of the Amazon. They were not concerned enough about sleeping in the open in the Amazon, although I did appreciate Danny was like, boots stay on. But yeah, I did feel like there could have been a little bit more danger. Every problem is so mild and handled rather quickly.
Right.
Also, I do think she was entirely too confident in her plan to find her sister deep in the Amazon. She arrives without much of a plan. She's found some guy on the internet. I kind of assumed she had made arrangements with him, and then all she had was she just knew that he existed. She's like, oh, you're Danny Delivers. And he was like, yeah, I'm not delivering you. Mm-hmm. And then they kept talking like all he needed to do was get her there. And then she's like, yeah, I'm just going to stick around for a week and then I'll head out. On what? Do you think there's just like regular boats passing through that you can just hop on and traverse your way? There's no plan. Like, make a plan.
Yeah, logistically, like how are you getting there and getting back?
Exactly.
Do you not have an airplane ticket like waiting for you at some point to go home?
Yeah, that's going to be real expensive to book a same-day plane ticket when you decide to go back.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Well, and even at one point, she says goodbye to Millie, the chick on the boat, the other chick on the boat, right? And I was like, wait, are they just dropping them off here? Like they're not, like, how are they supposed to get back?
Yeah, no, I was like, aren't they going to need the boat? I didn't understand that at all.
Not at all.
Like they had to teach her how to do everything on the boat because the other guy had to get off. The other guy.
Right.
But now Millie's just going to handle the whole thing on her own?
By herself? Yeah. I don't know. No idea.
Let's talk. Did you see that?
Okay. I have just two. I know you're a reader, but do you bring a suitcase of books with you?
No.
To the Amazon? You don't have a Kindle?
I know. He even said, he's like, you ever heard of an e-reader?
Right?
Those things stay charged for a while. She'd be okay.
Something. Who brings a book, like a suitcase full of books?
Yeah. No.
And special books.
Yeah. No.
I don't get it. I know we talked about like dangerous scenes. The scene with the big snake.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, when I saw that snake, I'm like, nope. Like, I have no desire to go anywhere that has big snakes like that.
Nope.
Especially when they're just out in nature. But this scene where they're like, okay, you have to like, don't engage. It's like shimmy past it.
The snake
it's
looks
wide open
relaxed.
space. It's wide open space. She could walk like outside of its perimeter there, like to get to the boat. Like, I'm like, why are you shimmying past the snake? And I don't know, do snakes like that like jump up midair and like attack you if you're like walking by? I mean, I don't know. In my head, I think that's what they do, but
I don't know. I would be giving it a wider berth.
and there was space to do that.
The entire freaking Amazon. Yes, she could have.
I know.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I got though.
Well, writer Juliana Wimbles does make a cameo in this movie as one of the tourists on the Amazonian cruise. I'm sure you noticed, but that was nice. I'm glad she got to be there. Mm-hmm. I have a question. These people, it didn't occur to me until the end of the movie, but in the beginning of the movie, we see Claire watering her sister's plants. At the end of the movie, we see her dad watering her sister's plants. No. If you're going to be gone for months and months and months, we need to make a new arrangement for these plants. Because I'm not coming to your house every single day for months on end. I guess maybe they only
You're
need to be
funny.
watered once a week. But I was like, if you have this full living jungle situation inside of your house and then you're going to leave, that's a big commitment to agree to water those plants.
Talk to me about you plan to leave. Who's paying your rent, your car payment, your utility bills? Like, who's doing that?
Yeah. I thought their treehouse was quite nice. I would really love to know what research in the Amazon accommodations look like. Also, I do think there should have been mosquito netting over their beds. I don't think they'd be sleeping in the open air, as pretty as it is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
There's gotta
you
gotta
would
be-
not survive.
No.
You get eaten alive by mosquitoes
No.
here in Orange County. So
No, I will donate to their conservation efforts, but I will not be boots on the ground in this particular situation.
oh boy. Do you have any other? Did you see that?
Just two funny things. I loved Claire's Titanic moment in the beginning on the boat. thought
I
she was
laughed
really-
out loud.
Me too.
Yeah. I thought that
And
was funny.
I also loved the line, I didn't realize they had catfish in the Amazon, when she's clowning Danny for his old photo in his Danny Delivers.
Oh, yes.
Great.
Yeah, that's funny.
Very funny. What did you rate Love on the Amazon?
I gave it 2.75 stars.
Oh, I gave it 2.5.
All right.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. Hey, if you love this podcast, drop into the app you are listening to and give us 5 stars. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We'll see you next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.